Well, by now, if you're familiar with this channel, you kind of know what to expect when I have this particular setup. And you know not to expect anything too chipper or joyful. And I apologize in advance if this is very kind of just stream of consciousness, spontaneous thoughts coming to me in the moment. I have been told that my approach to conversation, just kind of taking root in something and seeing where it goes, that can be something appealing. So I hope it plays out. What a weekend. How is this different from any other weekend at this point? Or any week or day during the week? Senseless, brutal, hateful, violent acts towards ourselves, towards others, be they a large group of people, be they just an individual. Honestly, I was going to talk here about just how this past weekend it felt like the hits just kept coming, and capped off with a particular tragedy that honed in on a specific form of art that I love, film. The tragic loss of Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle through, as we're discovering in the news now, very tragic and brutal circumstances. But before that, what took place in Australia, at Bondi Beach, what took place at Brown University, what took place across the river from me, when a lady recently released from a psychiatric facility stabbed a mother in a changing station at Macy's. But again, how is this weekend different from any other day in our lives at this point? Whether it's due to prejudices, whether it's due to ignorance, whether it's due to the availability of so many easily accessible weapons, whether it's due to some individuals in power who fuel said hateful rhetoric, who fuel said violent acts towards others, who perpetuate the availability of said dangerous weapons, even though, as we discovered just a couple months ago, they're equally as much a target for hate and spite and violence as anyone who doesn't wield a weapon. How is this any different from any other aspect of our lives at this point? I was originally just going to keep this being about Rob Reiner. I was going to ruminate and reflect on his body of work and what influenced me about it, from A Few Good Men to the Spinal Tap to The Princess Bride, which, I'll be honest, I didn't grow up with, so I don't have the nostalgic affection for that, but I can appreciate its merits. To one of my favorite movies from him, The American President. A genuinely thoughtful, poignant, and in this day and age, let's face it, extremely relatable film. I wish for a president like that. It's escapist fantasy, let's be real. I was originally just going to focus on that. But there's just so much in this world. So much going wrong, so much being done to others in this world that I'm tired. And not tired to the point of my usual depressing self, as you've seen probably in some of my more fleshed out or maybe more thought out pieces. But I'm tired and I'm pissed. I'm so tired and pissed about not just the frequency in which these things would keep happening, but how we've all conditioned ourselves at this point to just roll with it. I have a good many people in my life who, at this point, would say, yeah, it's sad. Not our problem, though. Or, yeah, it's sad, but sad things happen. Who continue on with their day. Because that's just what we do. Now, I'm not saying they're wrong for feeling that way. I mean, it's something I do too. I just continue on with my work, continue on trying to hold true to this as much as I can, continue just finding ways to be in this world. But I want to keep doing that while actually still trying to say something worthwhile. And still call out the injustices and the hurt and the violence. I don't often talk a lot about what I do off camera with regards to what my work is. I don't really try to get into specifics about it. But just know I'm involved in a kind of work that I can't be apathetic towards. It can't be mechanical for me. I have to feel. I have to have empathy. I have to have an open ear. And I love doing what I do. As much as I love creating art and making my videos and my short films and all that stuff on here, I love doing what I do outside of all this. I love my job because it keeps me anchored in the world. It keeps me anchored with people. Because as much as I'm my own harshest critic about my abilities, because it genuinely is something of value I offer to others. But it also means that empathy, that feeling, it's very hard for me to switch that off when I'm not on the job. Even when I purposely try to do things that I feel can help me just disconnect from the world for a little bit. Because we all need that. We all need to disconnect from time to time. Not regularly, but just give ourselves a breather. it's just so hard to do that. To not feel something towards a shooting taking place half a world away. To not feel something towards the genocides that are taking place all over this globe. To not feel something towards the loss of true artists, true visionaries, true activists and generous people, people far more generous than I am. And on the other side of that, to not feel angry about that unfairness, to not feel frustrated that systems have been put in place to keep people down, to not feel pissed that good people's lives are squandered, while the selfish and the greedy and the corrupt, they get to just keep on going. Unchecked and unbothered that they've cut down good people to keep on going. Not a day goes by that for whatever reason I cry. Whether it's in relation to something that took place in my work that was just very emotionally overwhelming, whether it's the news cycle, just doing what the news cycle does, which is usually the case, or even when it's just something I find myself relating to in a film that depicts something so intense and so pure in its visceral rawness that I can't help but have that clenching feeling inside. And I'm like, oh my God, I know what that is. And I got that with films by Rob Reiner. A Few Good Men. They're supposed to stand up for people like Willie. Like, I don't know why, but that particular line these days just clenches at me. People that took oaths to defend and to protect and cherish life were manipulated by their superiors to disregard that oath for the sake of a personal gain, for the sake of ego, for the sake of jingoist ideals. His movies cut to the quick about that. Even silly comedies. Even This Is Spinal Tap. There's sincerity and there's affection there for for artistry and for, people just being creative, even if they are kind of idiots and even if they are so full of themselves at certain points. But then there's also the jaded side of entertainment being represented and kind of a brutal honesty about how flash in the pan certain artistic expressions can be. Much like Britain's loudest band. And I don't know. I'm sure it's a jumble just trying to tie all this together, but it's why the murder of the Reiners was kind of just the straw that broke the camel's back for me this week. And the week hasn't even started. It's just I'm tired. And I'm angry and sad and despite giving my all day after day to people. And I know what I do is something good for people. I know what I do outside of this is something worthwhile and meaningful and can mean the world to someone in a moment. And despite all that, I just wish there was more I could be doing. I guess that's all a big roundabout way of saying what do we do, right? Or at least, what do I do? I guess we just keep going. Keep offering the best of ourselves, even if so many aspects of the world continue to show the worst. That we never allow ourselves to sink to that level of desperation. That we just continue to try to find the best in ourselves that we can offer. And I guess that's what I'll try to do on here. To however many people will watch and listen, that's my promise. Is I'll just continue trying to offer the best of what I can on here for you. Because I'm sure that's what Mr. Reiner would have wanted us to do. And it's something we have to do. Because we're losing these voices. We're losing these artists and these creative people. We seem to just keep losing so many of them every day. And all I encourage you to do is pick up the slack in your own way. Be creative. Be generous. Be kind. Be a singular voice. Whether through writing or music, painting, sculpting, counseling, filming. Give the best of yourself. Not for clicks, not for likes, not for a subscriber count, not for engagement. Do it for yourself. Do it for others. Because that's what's going to get us through the next day, the next week, the next month, the next year, decades, centuries. That's what's going to get us through this existence. As if we just continue to offer the best of ourselves to one another. So, to the folks at Brown University, to the people of Bondi Beach, to the people in Manhattan, to the Reiner family and all their friends, my deepest condolences. And to the world at large, to whoever I meet next in my travels, Let's just keep offering the best of ourselves to one another.